So I took this trade just simply because it's almost like a fade trade. I was really watching how these two products were responding to each other, and ES has been pretty aggressively selling since the open, but it just started to develop a little bit of volume down here and it's kind of stall out. So I was just looking for this to drop back in like it had done previously. I'm going to be pretty quick to pull this off if it doesn't start reversing itself. But the price action this morning is pretty a little difficult to read. It's still, we're half an hour into cash open. It just still needs to kind of settle, I guess. The only issue I see right now is that we have new home sales coming out here. And we had PMI actually come out at 645. That might have had something to do with a little bit of this price action, although that's typically not a mover. New home sales is coming out here in less than a minute. Just looking at the PMI reading was within range, so nothing really to report there. I'm still looking over here at the Ultra Bond 30-year. There's 2 ticks below the line. 5-year still a tick below. But I think it's time to bail on this one. Just ES couldn't get above 04. It's pretty aggressive selling this morning, like I said. Could be programmatic. Might have been able to give that a little bit more time, but this isn't really like a key level or anything. It's more, the structure, I guess, isn't there to really back this up. Punched through the overnight high at the pretty much at pit open, and that corresponded. Oh, actually, no, it didn't. But yeah, pit open, we just punched through the overnight high, fell all the way back in, down to 24. So it's a pretty dramatic drop. And then this thing got bought all the way back up. So we'll see what happens. If we get another push down in the ES over here, that might be enough for continuation trade. Just looking for all these products to start lifting. Let's see if we can get a couple ticks out of this. What we don't want to see is, that's exactly what you want to see on the ES, is when it sweeps down through the lows like that, you definitely know it's going to make new lows. Don't want to see it stall out right there. We got a good shot to get our target on this one. Just need a little bit more of a reaction. We got to punch through, otherwise we're just going to take the tick out, call it a day. Not call it a day, but just on this trade. I'm not going to sit here forever. should have started attacking higher by now. Feels like. That said, we're still not in real danger of losing any money at this point. Oof. So we're right back at that 3,000 level in the ES. It's psychological. People see that and they want to start buying it. Not a fan of how that's just kind of stalled out right there. Give it a little bit longer. Let's see if we can get this push. But then again, this is when you're looking for a short. This is one of my favorite setups, so maybe I'll just take the tick out here and then, because there is no real reaction at this point. One tick up. Someone's trying to front run this thing. Just went offer. Shit. Might be looking at a scratch here. Trying to work a scratch out of this one. Probably should have pulled it out a little bit earlier. It's definitely, I use this as a momentum tool, and sometimes I forget that and I hold it a little bit too long. But the momentum on this trade was just that one pop. Actually, it could have entered at 13 and gotten 2 ticks out of it. But the momentum definitely stalled and came back, and I should have just taken that 1 tick. So I'm happy with the scratch on that. Kind of reassess. Short trade might have been the better call because it was pushing down in the lows, and that's when I like to take a short, because counting on this kind of falling back in as the ES rebounds. So not much cooking right now. I'm going to let this kind of settle out and then we'll start back up. So it's 8:20 a.m. Pacific time. Got a little short going here in the 30-year. It's basically been hitting a brick wall at this level for quite some time. And it's after the European close, so I think the ES has recovered a little bit. As you can see, it's up to it's about 7 handles off the lows, 8 handles. And I think the trend is off, as far as trend day is off in the bonds and treasuries. So I just took a little short, figured that it's a high probability trade, trying to get this thing to fall back into where it previously traded down to the last level of support. It's kind of really all I have to go off of at this point. It's just that things kind of stalled out here and just looking for this thing to kind of settle back in. So we'll see what happens. Not much other than that as far as a setup, explanation for a setup. And also I guess the treasuries are a few ticks off the highs. That kind of told me that maybe the bonds would drop back in to join them. That's about it. We'll see what happens, though. Could very well be that the treasuries catch up to the bonds and the bonds break highs and I get stopped out and crazier things have happened. In fact, it looks like that is what's happening. Seems to be a bit of a disconnect here between not only the bonds and treasuries, but also the ES and these products here. So you got bonds that are pushing the highs. Treasuries are pretty much flat. And the ES is starting to push. continue to push higher, I should say. Some conflicting signals. Best thing might be to just to scratch this thing and try to reevaluate, regroup. See if we can get offer at 17 here in the next few moments. If not, then I'll just put the order to scratch it, because then it's looking to me like this is gonna try to push higher. Five years, 3 ticks below the line. 10 years attacking down. Just got to get this guy going. It's nice to see the Ultra Bond dropped in about 5 ticks. Okay, here we go. So if there is support on an intraday chart, it's right around in here on the 10-year, so I'd keep an eye on that. And like the 5-year and the 10-year seem to be pushing, have more travel than the Ultra Bond and the 30 right now. I don't like how this is absorbing here. I'm not going to let this trade back on me. Just lock in at least a little bit, a tick. I try to use this as a purely a momentum product. Although it looks like I should have traded the 10-year, but the 10-year, if the 10-year was up a couple ticks higher, at 1/2 or 0.1/2 or 0.1 in this area, then I would have started. I would have used this product. So as this moves down, I'm going to move my stop down just to lock in these profits. If it comes back on me, then so be it. Looks like this move might have stalled out. You only have, 50, 60 on the bid, and someone's attacking higher. Ten-year and 5-year still dropping in. I like to see that. On a chart, support would be right around 1110. I believe. Looking at, yeah, it's right at about 11. So I'm going to put my target just above that just to make sure. To increase the chances and probabilities of getting filled. Looks like the 10-year back ticked. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. That's at the overnight high, which is going to definitely be support. It's been very little pushback on this move here thus far. Just, stair-stepping its way down. Just one more level, get the fill. 10 years keeps going too. 5-year. Just need this bid to soften up. Might be time just to pull this off, because I'd like to see when orders hit down into a level that it immediately starts pulling off, regardless of the size. We had 7 hit down, and this stayed pretty well pat. Pretty solid. Especially ES is dropping down in. Sort of getting close to support. Might be time just to pull this off. Might be a little too late on that one. Looks like we're about 60 in the queue. Oh, hit the wrong button on that one. Didn't mean to clear everything out, but oh well. So it looks like I think we got stopped out there. Took my eye off it just for a brief second. Yeah, so +3. Oh well. Should have been a little bit quicker. To take it off there at 13. Yep. I tried. What are you gonna do? Anyway, that's it for me today. That's all I got, and I'll see you on the flip side.